Hello, dear humans. Our bodies hold so much feeling and energy and knowledge in them. Let's take a moment to stretch our bodies and offer ourselves a small release of any tension we might be holding. And I would be remiss if I didn't invite us to breathe. So let's take a good long inhale and follow it with an even longer exhale. I am going to share some words and some numbers and some questions about the weird and wonderful plant that is the cacao tree, because I think the cacao tree has some teachings for us. Please feel welcome to close your eyes or soften your gaze, or do whatever works for you to tone down visual intensity while we listen together. In your mind's eye, call up an image of a grain of rice. Next to this grain of rice, call up an image of an American football. Now gently release those images and consider that the flower of a cacao tree has a diameter equivalent to the length of a single grain of rice. It is an incredibly teeny, delicate little flower. Consider that a mature cocoa pod is about as long as an American football. A mature cocoa pod has a hard and bumpy exterior. When it's ripe, its beans rattle around inside. Consider that a small, delicate flower gives rise to a large, substantial cocoa pod. When cacao trees flower, the flowers only have 36 hours to be pollinated. After that brief window, unpollinated cacao flowers fall from the tree. Only 15% of all flowers are ever pollinated. For every 1,000 flowers that emerge on a cacao tree, only 3 mature into ripe cocoa pods. Ponder with me. Are cacao trees showing us a reality of scarcity or of abundance? An overwhelming majority of flowers do not get pollinated, or they do get pollinated, but they don't get enough sun, or they get pollinated and they get enough sun, but then there's a drought, and so they don't have sufficient access to water. Or they get pollinated and they get sun and rain, but then a fungal disease demolishes them before they're big enough to have much in the way of defenses. Very few cacao flowers make it to fruition as a cocoa pod. So that's one story, and it's absolutely true. Another version of the story goes like this. The earth is so rich with generative creativity. The earth can't fathom needless urgency, and so the earth's default in the plant world is generosity. The earth is inclined towards over-preparedness, so instead of 1 backup flower or 10 backup flowers, the earth decides that cacao trees would be best served with 997 backup flowers. Because the earth knows that there will not be a whole lot of midge-fly action, or not enough sun, or not enough rain, or too much rain, and most definitely a fungal disease. And so the earth sends plenty of flowers, a glut of flowers, way too many flowers. And cocoa farmers tend these weird and wonderful trees. And there are cocoa beans. Scarcity is a reality of this world, and it is a dishonor to truth and to suffering to pretend otherwise. Abundance is also a reality of this world, and it is a dishonor to truth and to possibility to pretend otherwise. Let us hold the realities of both, and may we see clearly before us what is. I invite you to gently return to this room, opening your eyes, flexing your fingers. Thank you for sharing this time with me.